Okay, so hey everybody, I want to do this video about why being a CNA sucks. And I want to put a disclaimer out there that I respect CNAs so much. I feel like they're underpaid and they're overworked, but this is my personal experience with the CNA program I completed. This is for anybody who's considering going through a CNA program. So first of all, I want to say that my program, all programs are obviously different. Usually CNA certificate programs are relatively short, but mine is a 2-semester course, which to some people it's like, oh, 2 semesters, nothing. That's exactly what I thought. But then when you realize there are courses that are a couple weeks, you start to realize that 2 semesters is really long. I go to school 4 days a week, 1:30 to 3:30, which that time alone, you cannot plan anything around a 2-hour class in the middle of the day, and then we do 5-hour clinicals. So getting to the actual nursing home part of it, if you are a CNA, 9 times out of 10 you will be working in a nursing home, some sort of geriatric care, some sort of nursing home facility where you're taking care of elderly people. So number one, if you do not like geriatrics, if you don't like elderly people and you don't like taking care of very dependent people, don't even consider the job. I love taking care of people. The healthcare field is something I know I want to go down, and I had this misconception like, oh, CNA, it'll pay me great, until I can go through nursing school and I'll have that while I'm going through nursing school. No. What I witnessed at the facility was absolutely horrible. There were bed sores the size of my head. They never allowed the residents to go outside. I had a nurse shut the door on a resident, look at me and say she's going to fall and walk away. And just multiple other incidents just within the 10 hours. I've done 10 hours of clinicals at the facility. And the crazy thing is these concerns that I had about these instances were kind of just brushed off by the facility. So it really is very discouraging when you have problems with the way residents are being treated and nothing is done about it. But I just wanted to say that this job is very, very, very stressful and emotionally, I just feel like so many of the CNAs and the nurses seemed very emotionally unattached. And what I mean by that is, I suppose if you do the job for so long, you just have to be emotionally unattached because you're constantly losing people, or it's just a depressing environment to be in. Which is why I say I can really commend people that can work that as a job and as a career. But I just wanted to say for people going into it that you are going to deal with things like vomit. You are going to deal with things like bowel movements. That is the one thing that really got to me last clinicals and was really the last straw. Is I do want to work in healthcare, and I understand that this is just a part of healthcare, but they fed the residents something that did not agree with their stomachs, and so the residents were just pooping and pooping and pooping. I mean, I have no other polite way of saying that they were just shitting their pants, like ridiculous amount of diarrhea. So we had to go in and change them. And that's another thing, is I really felt like a glorified waitress and a glorified babysitter and a glorified ass wiper. And I'm sorry to anybody who's in this career field and takes offense by that, but that's the reality of the situation. I mean, that's what you are. And you're lucky if you even get a thank you, because most of the residents have dementia or are in wheelchairs. Obviously, this is not the case for every facility. This was the case for my facility. So, like I said, speaking on personal experience, this was horrible. I could not tolerate the smell. I don't have a child. I don't have baby cousins. I'm not around babies often, so I don't smell the smell of poop or diarrhea often, and if I do, it's obviously a very negative situation that I get myself out of. So I physically just felt really violently ill whenever I smelled these smells. I couldn't handle it, and obviously you don't want to sit in a room with a resident gagging and trying not to vomit and throw up, because that is rude and unprofessional, and you just can't work. I can't work in that environment personally. So that's another thing you have to consider, is can you truly handle, I mean, I know you say in your head like, well, it's fine, I can deal with it, but can you truly handle diarrhea? Can you truly handle vomit? Can you truly handle sputum? Just really gross things that we don't normally come in contact with in day-to-day life. So obviously I know that these are things that I need to get over if I'm going to become a nurse or a nurse practitioner. which is initially what I wanted to do, but decided that CNA would be something quick that I could acquire before I went to get that. But I know it's something that I need to overcome, but it was just really severe at the facility that I was in. So it's something that you need to take into consideration, that if you are a CNA, honestly, a majority of your job is cleaning up after people, whether it's, you know, cleaning up after them after they eat and feeding them and wiping their butts and cleaning their sheets, and just it's really, I mean, you have your moments like rehabilitation. Facilities are, I'm pretty sure, legally obligated to do rehabilitation, so you do get to like throw the ball with the residents, which is really fun, but it's just a really small sliver of the amount of things that are actually enjoyable in the facility. And once again, this could be just my nursing home that I have experienced this at, because the one that we are at is kind of, they've explained to us, bottom of the barrel is their way of justifying it. I don't know. So every experience is different. I just wanted to get my experience out there for the people who are considering pursuing this certificate. I would say if you're going to be a nurse, honestly, you want to go and do your RN. This gives you a good idea of what the worst of the worst tasks are going to be as a healthcare worker. But I wouldn't necessarily say, okay, I couldn't do this, so I can't be a nurse. And it's not that I couldn't do it, it's that emotionally I don't want to. I know these tasks and these jobs are not what I want to be doing as a career. So I would say, if you're going to do nursing, if you're going to do RN, just go for RN. Don't waste your time. Like, it's not worth it, because honestly, I spoke to a nurse and she literally said word for word, she's like, it does not matter if you have that, and this may, if you have a different opinion, leave it in the comments below, but she literally was like, it does not matter if you have your CNA. Like, if you're an RN and you're working and you have your CNA certificate, it doesn't really make a difference. And another thing is, being a CNA, it's really rare that you can work in a hospital. If you do want to work in a hospital and you know you don't want to work in a nursing home, you still need experience. The hospital expects you to have experience, so you need to go to a nursing home for a certain amount of time before you can even apply to the hospital, which is just like redundant to me. It doesn't make sense. Basically, working with the elderly is something that you're going to have to do regardless. And geriatrics is just something that I know I don't want to do personally. I do have a job that works in the optical field now, and I've always wanted to be a neonatal nurse, so I know neonatal or optics are the two fields that I want to get into, and I know that CNA does not have anything to do with either of those. I've never heard of a nursing assistant dealing with optics or the neonatal unit. So it's, once again, it's personal preference, but for anybody that's considering it, I hope this information has helped shed some light on it. I definitely kind of glamorized the whole job in my head a lot more than I should have, so it was a very, very tough reality check when I actually came in contact with this facility and these residents, and the program has been very unnecessarily vigorous for what the job is. So I hope this helped. Leave a comment down below if you are a CNA or you are in the process of getting your certificate or you're considering getting your certificate. Subscribe, because I'm going to start posting a lot more videos in the future, probably medically related, because I'm starting school in the spring and I'm definitely going to get back into the nursing aspect of it, so I may have some videos about that. All right, bye guys.